bringing you news and information from around the Pacific Command. This is your AFN Pacific Report.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of AFN Pacific Report. I'm Senior Airman Therese Garnier. Last Thursday, Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel testified to Congress about what he termed profound budget problems stemming from sequester. During testimony before the House Armed Service Committees about the Pentagon's fiscal year 2014 defense budget request, Hagel said DoD's long-term planning is compromised by a complex array of security challenges around the world, combined with budget ambiguity at home. Humanitarian assistance and disaster relief might not be considered a traditional role for the U.S. military, but as seen during Operation Tomodachi, when called upon, the military can deliver. That was the testimony of the commander of U.S. Pacific Command, Admiral Sam Locklear, to the Senate Armed Services Committee last week.
In Tomodachi in Japan, we saw where the readiness of military assets to kind of step in at the early stages of a huge crisis, a huge natural disaster, and to kind of get in front of the problem and get command and control set up, and to give the people on the ground the will and the help they need to kind of get them jump-started to go solve it. Because in the end, Tomodachi was not solved by the U.S. military or any other allies. It was predominantly solved by the people of Japan. But it needed to get them started. There's other areas that we can support too. We have technologies and we have know-how that are in developed countries that we can share with developing countries. So in PACOM, I'm able to bring together many interagencies from our U.S. government, and we can transport some of that knowledge into these growing HADR scenarios that we do with in exercise we do with other countries. So, for instance, in Bangladesh, over time, they have been able to develop warning systems and places where people go during large storms that have significantly decreased the damage and cost to human life. And so we can do some of those things in our multilateral planning together.
Airmen on Guam put themselves through a grueling ruck march as a way to test their mobility readiness.
Airmen from the 36th Mobility Response Squadron recently endured what is said to be some of the most difficult and productive training that they do. Boonie, gun, guerrilla. These three words are not only the name of this exercise, but the embodiment of what they experienced during it as well. Everything they need to know for mission readiness is compiled into a 3-hour, 7-mile ruck march with obstacles every step of the way.
The overall mission today was to instill some more warrior training within the Mobility Response Squadron. Get out and use some of our tactics, more training, and just to get an overall picture on how our squadron performs together.
Squadrons face situations ranging from a 2,800-foot litter carry to ATV exercises. Then, they topped it off with a teamwork crucial obstacle course. Senior NCOs from all departments of MRS created this exercise to combine every imperative piece of training that these MRS airmen are expected to know.
I think it went good, a little bit competitive. Hardest part was probably putting on the mop gear and then rucking with the special cargo on our backs. Just because of the humidity, the sun, and then you're breathing rubber. So that makes it pretty hard. It's challenging, but it's necessary.
These challenges are put in place to assure that despite intense heat, 35 pounds of weight, and enemy resistance, these MRS airmen are still capable of achieving the mission. Reporting from Anderson Air Force Base, I'm Airman First Class Adam Harder.
Service members are reminded time and time again that we all have a role to play in security. Sailors at Sasebo are taking that role to a new level as a way to help keep the installation safe.
Welcome to the Auxiliary Security Force Academy. Students composed of sailors from various commands around Sasebo participate in a 3-week-long course to assist with security on base.
Okay, how about people coming through posts?
Chief Petty Officer Andrew JANSTA is the lead instructor for the class.
The purpose of the ASF Academy is so we can train people from different rates throughout the base to help us stand our sentry duties when we go to higher threat cons.
The training consists of many different functional areas. The students learn mock takedowns, all sentry responsibilities, and of course, oleoresin capsicum training, or OC spray.
I think this greatly improves every individual sailor going through these courses like this. Probably something that every sailor should go through because it gives them an idea of what the MAs or whoever's standing that gate is looking for.
Seaman Andrew Rodriguez, an ASF student, says the course has been rewarding so far.
Going to boot camp, I wanted to get more hands-on, and this is a lot more hands-on training, and I really am enjoying it a lot right now. So.
ASF is a way for any sailor to contribute to the mission of keeping Fleet Activities Sasebo safe. Seaman John Marzullo, Fleet Activities Sasebo, Japan.
Evading enemy forces and surviving in the wild are two skills all Air Force pilots need to have. But those skills are perishable, which is why one pilot at Misawa found himself trudging through the woods surrounding the base.
Surviving in the woods can be a difficult task. Harsh conditions like low temperatures, snow, and wind add to the difficulty of staying alive. Now imagine on top of the unforgiving environment, hostile forces are pursuing you. That is just what Lieutenant Colonel Christopher Struve is dealing with.
It's a training we do every 3 years that is a requirement for us as pilots in case we ever do get shot down or our airplane fails and we end up in bad guy country trying to evade the enemy. So we came out here, did some training, and then really spent about 6 hours trying to evade the opposing forces today as they tried to track me down.
I'm here, but all that kind of goes at diagonal northeast.
Staff Sergeant David CHUN has worked with aircrew flight equipment for almost 10 years. But for the first time, he is getting to see how his job can help pilots in a desperate situation.
I had a lot of snow out here, so it was some places waist high and a lot of water, pond, and we went into it. We're struggling to try to go through the woods, try to locate him. It was pretty hard, yeah.
It's certainly cold, and it's not something that you'd pick to do on a normal day, but when you're done, it's good to be done with it, but it's that training that you absolutely have to have and you have to be good at.
Airman First Class Michael Kantak, Misawa Air Base, Japan.
Coming up, taking a stand against child abuse. But first, let's take a look around the Pacific Command in today's Snapshots.
Marines repaint a playground in Guam as part of a beautification project during Exercise Guam and Shield. An airman reads to children at Kadena Air Base during a Holocaust Days of Remembrance observation. Sailors direct an FA-18F Super Hornet before launch from USS Nimitz during a training exercise in the Pacific Ocean. And that's a look around the Pacific Command in today's Snapshots.
Kids at Marine Corps Air Station Iwakuni are running the nation. Lance Corporal Lupe Campos explains.
The fitness specialists from MCCS Semper Fit Health Promotions started a Kids Run the Nation program to encourage and teach children how to properly run. LEAH Daugherty is a running coach who volunteered to participate in the program.
And I definitely wanted to get involved because I think running is important and I wanted to show kids that it's fun. They're pretty young, so I just want to show them that running isn't a punishment.
The sessions aim to teach kids how to be healthy and stay active while at the same time letting them have fun.
We'll incorporate lots of relays, we'll incorporate different kinds of games, and then also definitely focus on certain aspects of running each week so that way they can learn and grow in running and they can see themselves improving, and I think that's always fun to see yourself improve.
The kids learned how important running is to stay fit and have fun while being active.
We practice pace by running around and using different methods of resting without stopping. I like that I was able to run somewhere because since we live on base, there's not like so many backyards that you can run, so I get to run here.
The Semper Fit staff will hold a fun run to celebrate the Kids Run the Nation completion at the end of the program. Lance Corporal Lupe Campos, Marine Corps Air Station Iwakuni, Japan.
April is the month of the military child. As a way to honor that designation, a commander at Daegu has taken a stand against child abuse.
Children from Daegu Elementary School filter into the gym to witness a proclamation signing, a promise to keep them safe.
So I want to announce today that protecting children is everyone's job. It's a job that does not end with the last day in April, but it goes on every year, every day, every month, every circumstance, on the installation and in our community. Strong soldiers, civilians, and families know how to rethink ways to stay healthy and how to reach out for help. So if you know Army families that are in stress, Miss Sylvia talked about a lot of the different ways that we can help. Please help guide a family. Please help your friends. Please point in the direction of one of us that can help you, because this is a month about protecting you as the kids of our community. Count on all of us to help you, and let us remember that this is our community.
Upon completion of the ceremony, Colonel Gavley invited all the kids to enjoy some cake to celebrate the big step into a brighter and safer future. Army Sergeant Edwin Pierce, Camp George, Korea.
We head to the Korean Peninsula to wrap up this newscast with an introduction to a young airman at Osan, whose duty time doesn't involve lifting heavy objects. But her off-duty time, well, that's another story. She tells it in her own words.
When I walk into the box and it's empty, everything in the world shuts down. I love listening to the bar clicking against the weights. It's just one of those noises where it just makes me drive and pull it over my head. I just love it. I first encountered CrossFit in Kuwait when I was deployed in Ali Asalim. It made me a better person for a lifetime. It's a life-changing experience. It's not just a workout to me now. It's my life. I work out every day because I'm actually training for the Asian CrossFit Regionals. In my mind, I'm gonna tell myself to just be better than myself and to tell myself, hey, it's another day in the box, Lori. I am Senior Airman Lori Dana Ballesteros in the United States Air Force.
That's it for this newscast. From all of us here at AFM Pacific, thanks for watching.